السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة. أما بعد, my dear respected brothers and sisters, Jazakumullah khair for tuning in. Inshallah, today we're going to be talking about how Satan, brothers and sisters, attack us and attack us through our senses. In the past, we spoke about some of the strategies that Satan tends to utilize against us and how he is our long lasting enemy in our lifetime. But the question is that how does Satan attack human beings? How does he seduce them? What are the steps? What are some of the tricks that he tends to utilize? And etc. Brothers and sisters, you have to understand that, as some of the scholars have says, that the window of the heart is through our senses. I'm going to say this again. The window to our heart is through our senses. What does that mean? Meaning that in order for our high heart to like something, we would have to see it, or we would have to hear it, or we would have to say it. So in order for someone to get into our heart, we have we have to be exposed through our senses. So our senses are the windows toward our heart. So no one can get into our heart except through our senses. And that's what Satan tries to do all the time. Brothers and sisters, one of if we want to prioritize our senses, I think one of the biggest senses that يعني, tend to have a dramatic effect into seduction is our ears. Because part of nature that as human beings we hear before we see. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mentioned hearing before seeing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا. That indeed our hearing before our seeing. And when you are in the womb of your mother, you're able to hear before you could able to see. So one of the biggest windows that Satan tried to seduce us through or try to trick us is through our hearing. And he tried to do that in all sort of ways, in which he would try to belittle the things that we hear. يا أخي, it's just a line of music. يا أخي, it's just a small backbite. يا أخي, it's just a small namima or ghiba, backbiting. Or it's just a small talk, a small lie, and etc. And maybe it's a small joke. And what happened is things all as normal start as small. Things start as small, and gradually they will become the issue and the life of the individual. Brothers and sisters, and as Satan is trying to open these small windows to us, small windows of mocking the deen, small windows of trying to talk about other people or mock them or make fun of them, small talks about lying and trying to seduce or trick other people, as we curse, and we hear curses. Because when you how would someone how does someone curses, brothers and sisters, or use foul language? He must have heard it before. I mean, no one start cursing or saying foul languages out of nowhere. No, he must have heard it, and then after that he started to say it. So he tried to belittle these small things, and as he's doing so, he tried to protect you from hearing the truth. Anything that is related to Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, any hadith, any Quran, um, any advice, and if someone advises you, you would feel as it's as big as the mountain. You feel the heaviness of it. You know, uh, and subhanallah, and this is the reality. People sometimes they say, what how come I feel that when someone give me an advice, it's such a heavy burden on myself. Why? Because of the how Satan is trying to seduce you, how Satan trying to make it look in front of you. Brothers and sisters, um, uh, this is the reality of the situation. How Satan tried to uh, beautify these things in front of us. And when someone is saying the truth, when someone is hearing things that you don't like, subhanallah, how come you don't like to listen to it? How come you don't like to hear it? Because of the fact that Satan, he want to protect you from hearing the truth. He does not want to undo the things that he is doing, and etc. Brothers and sisters, you have to understand that the shaitan, part of his strategy is he's trying to change, you know, as he is trying to protect you from hearing the truth and try to open the doors of foul and lying and trickery and making fun of people and making fun of the deen. He's trying to also try to trick you into seeing things in an opposite direction. He wants to make you see what is haram as something good, and something that is good as something that nasty. And unfortunately, that's the situation of many Muslims nowadays. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذَا ذِكْرَ اللَّهُ اشْمَأَزَّتْ قُلُوبُ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ وَإِذَا ذُكِرَ الَّذِينَ مِن دُونِهِ إِذَا هُمْ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ. Ya Allah. That every time the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned, اسمأزت قلوب الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة. The people who does not believe in the hereafter, their heart is يعني become disgusted. يا أخي, you talk about the hereafter, you talk about Allah, you talk about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you talk about believe in the deen, and then when every time this is mentioned, what happened? The heart of disbelievers of the hereafter, you become disgusted. They feel annoyed. وإذا ذكر الذين من دونه إذا هم يستبشرون. And if something else mentioned beyond that, they're like they're fun. I mean, they're happy. They're looking forward to see it. You see, brothers and sisters, that's the issue here, and that's the litmus test that you could test yourself with, honestly. And really, and sit down right now and test yourself this question. This test is every time you hear Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and His Prophet and something that is remind you of the hereafter, that you become disgusted. You feel a heavy burden in your chest. You feel that as if this is too much. Or every time somebody try to play with you and or try to say a joke or have fun or play soccer or whatever kind of game, you're looking forward to doing it. This is the litmus test, brothers and sisters, that you need to think about. And not only that, the shaitan, part of his agenda is he tried to make the people who do what is right, like al-amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar, he tried to make them look evil, and he tried to show them as these are evil people, who try to change your life, who try to uh, 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 make you a worse individual, who try to make you they are the one who are trying to expose your mistakes. They're the one who try to follow your mistakes. Those the one who want to put you in trouble. Those the one who might want to make you feel awkward. See all these names. And unfortunately, this is the situation of how many Muslims are, in which that they look down on people who are advising them. They look down on some of the imams. They look down on some of the shuyukh. They look down on people who try to show them the right from the wrong. And it's the reality that we are living in, unfortunately, brothers and sisters. And that's why, and as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا شياطين الإنس والجن يوحي بعضهم إلى بعض زخرف القول غرورا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and like this, we have made to each and every prophet Satans who are their enemy, from ins and jinn, from like so not only don't people think when we talk about shayateen, we're only trying to uh, think about the jinn. No. But rather they're also shayateen who are from ins, human beings. يوحي بعضهم to بعض زخرف القول غرورا. They try to reveal to each other. And not only that, زخرفة, and look at the word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is have used here, زخرفة. They try to beautify these things. They make it look good. Try to make it beautiful. Try to make it soothing. Try to make it modern. Try to make it look as something that is sophisticated. But the truth الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر and the قول الله ورسوله, the best of speech, the haqq, is all evil. And that's why the shaitan, he always tried to make sure that you look at things in the opposite way. Brothers and sisters, and once he is sufficient, he sufficed from attacking your ears, the next thing he's tried to make you attack is your tongue. Because after you hear what's going to happen, you're gonna say it. You're going to say it, and tongue is the biggest muscle in the human body, you know. And subhanallah, one of the things that he tried to do is that he tried to make you say things that is not going to be of benefit to you, whether it was harming other people, whether it was whether it was lying or cheating, and he tried to protect you from saying the good things, whether it was the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeing forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, advising other people, talking to other people about good speech. And the two main things that Satan tried to do, and this is like the two main windows when it comes to our tongue. One, he tried to prevent you from what? Number one, التكلم بالباطل. And he tried to make sure that you speak what is foul. What is foul? Anything that is foul, this is what his intent for you to do. Whether it was cursing, foul language, attacking people, disrespecting your parents, disrespecting your relatives, downgrading other people, mocking people, teasing people. And subhanAllah, people nowadays, the only thing that comes out of their mouth is this. And if he finished with you as far as talking what is foul, he wants you to also be quiet. Be quiet, and this is number two, being sukutu an al-haq, be quiet when it comes to truth. Every time you see haq, you become quiet. Someone is attacking other individual, you be quiet. Someone is being mistreated, you be quiet. You see someone, his rights is being taken away from him, you be quiet. And that's why they say الساكت عن الحق شيطان أخرس. They said that the one who is quiet when it comes to saying the truth, he is a Satan who is silent. Subhanallah. So, and that's the two main things that the Satan tries to attack us through when it comes to our mouth, making sure that we say the batil, what is evil, and we are quiet when it comes to saying the haqq. So, brothers and sisters, you have to understand this is the two weapons that Shaitan is trying to utilize against us, and this is the ways that Satan tried to throw us into the hellfire. And I always tell you guys this: the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Mu'adh ibn, when one of the Sahaba came by and he said, "Ayukabbu nasu ala wujuhim min hasaidi alsinatihim," that people is going to be thrown into the hellfire because of what they say. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Takalatka ummuk." Yes, of course it would. Of course, people are going to be dragged into the hellfire because of one word that they have said. Because sometimes, brothers and sisters, words can be powerful. You could, when you are nailing, when you have a nail, and then you want to put it into the wall, it's easy, right? But to take it out is very difficult. And that's the way words can be as nails, brothers and sisters. You could easily let it go in, but it's very difficult for you to take it out. And words have changed people's lives. People say words, why you guys are so extreme? Yes, words can be very powerful. When you came into the religion of Islam, how did you come in? Isn't it with words, witnessing that there is no God except for Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is prophet? When someone wanted to divorce someone, did he say taliq, you are divorced? Word. When someone make an oath, isn't it word? So, brothers and sisters, words can be powerful, and words can have their dramatic impact into human lives. So, brothers and sisters, and you have to understand that Shaitan, he tried to attack us from each and every direction. Whatever opportunity he has against us, he will try to utilize. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, when the Shaitan said, فبما أغويتني لأقعدن لهم صراطك المستقيم ثم لآتينهم من بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم وعن أيمانهم وعن شمائلهم ولا تجد أكثرهم شاكرين. He said, because of what you have seduced me, because of what you have done to me, Satan is saying, I'm going to be sitting in their ways, to the point I'll become their own ways, and I will attack them from in front of them, from behind them, from the rights, from the lefts, and you're not going to see most of them being thankful. So, brother and sister, he tried to attack us from each and every direction. This is not the my word. This is the word of Satan. Look at Satan is telling us what he's going to do to us, and he's trying to set in your way, no matter what direction you're going to be. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Inna shaytana qad qa'ida la ibn Adam بطرقه كلها." That even Satan, he sat down in the way of Adam in each and every way. فقعد له بطريق الإسلام. He said in front of him when it comes to Islam, being a Muslim, he said, أتسلم وتذر دينك دين آبائك? Do you become a Muslim and you would leave the religion of your father? فقعد له بطريق الهجرة. He said in front of him in the way of migration toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أتهاجر وتذر أرضك وسماءك? Do you leave your place and you leave your sky and your land? And the same way, would you? He sat down to you, and the same thing can be applied to our times, brothers and sisters. Do you lower your gaze and see the beauties and leave the beauties that is laying in front of you? Do you eat the halal and you let go of all the haram that is sitting in front of you? Do you leave joking and having fun and trying to be hip and trying to be in style and trying to be modern, and you be backward like all these people who are bearded and they're wearing their hijab? Do you wear the appropriate hijab, and let go of the beauty of letting your hair fly and your makeup being shown off? Same thing, same idea, but in different terms, brothers and sisters. So he sat down to you in each and every way and tried to make sure how could he to seduce you and how could he trick you. And each of every way of goodness, you will see Satan sitting right in front of you. And he tried to beautify things that are evil and make what's good look it's evil. And that's the trickery of the shaitan, brothers and sisters. And you have to understand this. This is the reality of the war that we are waging. It's not just a one-time thing or 1 second thing. It's a daily thing. It's an ongoing thing. And then he would move into your other senses, where it comes to your hands and your legs. He tried to make you harm other people, walk to places where you're not supposed to be walking. He would make it heavy for you to walk into the place of righteousness, to walk toward your good brothers and sisters, walking toward the masjid, walking and doing khair, walking into helping others. But when you walk to a party, walk to a movie, walk to places of evil, it's easy. You will see people jumping toward these places, and etc. So, brothers and sisters, you have to understand this is the way that the shaitan tried to seduce us. And what are the two more main weapons? See, we talked about, generally speaking, the two main weapons that the shaitan tried to utilize when it comes to our tongue. But generally speaking, what are the two main weapons the shaitan tried to get to us through? جند الغفلة وجند الشهوات. Through our negligence and through our desires. Number 1 and number 2. What does it mean by through al-ghafla, negligence? That he always tried to make you in a state of neglecting. You know, yes, you're always in a state of fun. Uh, eating whatever you want, listening to whatever you want, playing, watching, having fun. So when you are always in a state of fun, we're not, as Muslims, we're not against someone having fun. But when you're always in a state of fun, you're opening the doors for yourself to fall into sin. Yeah, there is nothing wrong that you do things you're supposed to do. You do your responsibilities, your worldly responsibilities. You do your responsibility toward Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and dealing with it, and then you have to take a break. Whether it was watching something in TV that is appropriate, having fun with the family, nothing wrong with that. But when you're always in a state of fun, what's going to happen? You will fall into sin. And everything become fun. I mean, you're jumping from one fun to another, watching game, or you're watching TV for 8 hours, or playing video games for 4 or 5 hours, and you going from one thing to another. Of course, this is called ghafla. And eventually, when someone is used to do that, you think he's gonna pray? Of course, he's gonna miss prayers. Of course, he's going to not going to places that he's supposed to be going to. So the very first thing is what? Al ghafla, negligence. And the second thing is desires, shahawat. And brother or sister, you have to understand that one thing would lead to another. The shahwa, the desires and negligence are like in this, they're in the wheel, same wheel. One thing would lead to another. When you are negligent, letting go, forgetting, having fun all the time, you will fall into desires. And when you fall into desires, you will become more negligent. And this is the wheel, the vicious cycle that many people, or many Muslims nowadays are in. And that's why when someone tries to advise them, they feel it's tough because they're breaking that cycle. Because they don't want to be reminded. They always want to have fun. They want to always address their own desires. They're submitting to their own desires. And that's why you have to go back to Rabbil Alameen and ask for his help. And open to your eyes to the reality of why you're here. Are you just a puppet between the hand of Satan that he could play with you as much as he wants? أحتنكن ذريته إلا قليل, that he would try to drag us through our jaws. So brothers and sisters, you have to understand this is the reality. Who are you submitting to? Are you submitting to the tricks of the Satan, or are you submitting to the word of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and you're fighting against your own desires, and you're being a responsible individuals that you're not only in a state of negligence, but always having fun. ساعة وساعة, an hour and an hour, as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. In which that sometimes you take a break, and sometimes you go back to your responsibilities in this life, and your worldly responsibilities, and your responsibility with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So, brothers and sisters, and one of the last, I would mention, one of the last trick that the shaitan has always tried to make us fall through is what? Is being upset and being angry. And wallah al-azim, brothers and sisters, you will see people who are away from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, always you'll have these three characteristics in them. They're always following their own desires. They're always in a state of fun, and they're always impatient. Easy to be angry. Because when you're angry, you have no control over yourself. And that's why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he said, "Inna al-ghadaba jamratun fi qalb ibn Adam." When someone become upset, it's like he's having a coal of fire inside of his heart. أما رأيتم من الاحمرار عينيه وانتفاخ أوداجه, that you have not seen him when someone become angry, you will see him become red, just like a fire, and you'll see him. You see like you see his face being hot because fire. And that's why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you are in a state of angry, how you extinguish a fire? With water. فليتوضأ. Let him make wudu. So you always see this is the triad of people who are away from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. They're always being upset, easy to be instigated, They're always following their own desires and they're always having fun. Brothers and sisters, يعني, ask yourself the question. Wallahi, seriously, sit down with yourself. يعني, where are you? Evaluate yourself. Break that cycle. Are you are you that much of an easy individual that is lacking dignity, that you're making you're making Satan play with you as much as he wants? Ask yourself that question. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. That seek sustenance by being patient and by going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I still do something big unless you are يعني close to Rabbil Alameen. So with that being said, I hope that the messages have went across, and I hope that many of you have benefit from this. جزاكم الله خير لحسن استماعكم. سبحانك وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. والعصر إننا لفي خسر الذين عملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.